All right, and as that dries, again, I can go back and see how things are going, and I can always fix or adjust if necessary. Next is our secondaries. Secondaries is where you're going to mix your primaries. So you guys remember how red and yellow make an orange, how blue and red make violet, and how yellow and blue make a green. So let's go ahead, and there's really no set order to this. If you want to start with your secondaries first, you can, however you want to go about that. I'm going to go ahead and go with green first for this area. And when I did the color wheel first, I used a different blue. And we're all going to be seeing each other's color wheels during our Zoom critiquing, but it's going to be neat the different types of blues that we have. So we have this phthalo blue, and then I have this also cadmium, and this is starting to make more of a saturated blue. Before I used, I believe it could have been a primary blue or something around that. So again, just really interesting to see what colors you get when you mix and how everyone will have a great variety. It will be fun to see what everybody chooses. And then you as an artist, if you want to continue on mixing color, you can always purchase different paint to get the colors that you desire after this class. Okay, so here's my green. I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing as before. I'm going to add a little bit of gray, because again, I already pre-mixed a whole bunch of gray. And if you notice, this is not taking long at all to achieve what we're trying to do. Now remember too, you may have to go back and adjust anything. I will sometimes mix directly on my little square and just keep adding paint, just because everything is already nice and in the mode of just mixing. Everything is still in its mode where you can move the medium around. Again, we're not using water in this. When you do add water, it dulls it down, not dulls it down, it makes it more translucent is a better term. And also it can really change the effect of creating this desaturation exercise. So you see how I applied a lot of gray there right now, if the camera is picking that up. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go back and add some green into that. And so again, I'm mixing directly on my box right now. Okay. Cleaning my brush again. Next, we're gonna go ahead and go with violet. So I have my red over here. I'm grabbing some blues. So I'm making a separate color scheme here. This has like a red in it, red violet, so I'm gonna make it more blue. And you're really kind of using your eye, right, to pick up what is looking accurate to you. Is it looking too red, too blue? Just add some more, a little bit of the other. I'm gonna add a little bit more red into that. And a little blue. Okay. This is a really dark violet. Now, when I add gray, it's just gonna get darker and darker, just so you're aware of that. So I'm using a little corner of my palette again. And you want it to be noticeable. In reality, we can make this row 10. We can do it very large, very long in terms of just pulling the desaturation out further. But we're only getting to the desaturation in 5 swatches, so we push it pretty quickly. And I didn't mix enough over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix more. It's good if you do mix enough, because then you get the complete accuracy, but that's okay. Again, if you make any mistakes, just go ahead and add white paint, wait for everything to dry, add white paint. You may have to add several layers to it. Or what you could do is you can get another little swatch, cut it out, and just paste it on top. Just make sure it looks like a clean presentation. Remember, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm here for you. Again, one-on-one Zooms are something we can do as well. Okay. Making a separate swatch again, just the original color, just to build that up a little more. Okay. As I get to my very last one is orange. So I still have a lot of paint I can work from. I'm gonna find what space I have available. Now, anytime you work with yellow, remember you wanna add a lot of yellow and just a little bit of the other color, because yellow is the translucent one. It gets overpowered very easily by other colors. Okay, so I'm mixing again an orange color. Looks like it's kind of a yellow orange, so I need a little bit more red to it to bring some more strength to the color in terms of its orange appeal. Add a little more yellow. And again, you're looking to see what looks right for you, what looks like a good orange. Okay. So here's our orange. Again, orange is translucent too. We have yellow mixed into it and red. So I'm gonna go back and add more layers once I complete this. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start adding a little bit of gray. A separate swatch here. So the main thing is, again, you want to make sure there's steps looking like it is getting more desaturated. So this should be the brightest. It start getting a little bit more dull, and then till it looks almost gray. I'm continuing to mix the colors on my palette first to see how things are going. Because I have the tape, I can go a little fast and be almost a little bit quick in my application, because I'm not worried about trying to find the correct shape or form of it. This became a little bit too gray, so I'm just going to go back and mix already some of that original hue inside of that and just layer it. This works well, again, if you're still in the mode that it is wet. Once it dries, it does not mix well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and look at how these dry. I may have to just go back and slightly add a little bit more layers if necessary. If not, then you're good to go, and this is called desaturation. So you're using your primary and secondaries, and you're making 5 across to just add gray tones. Again, I'm using more of a darker gray, and I just keep adding more gray and gray to just dull it out to its last hue. So as you look at the first one, you should be able to see a small gradient till you get to your very last. Okay, thank you so much. I will take the tape off, and then I will post this finished piece on Canvas.